For the people that are committed to this industry, I'm committed to providing them a platform and value for them to make it through this during these challenging times. Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, and as always, I have my favorite co-host, looking dapper as always. Colin, say hi.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here, Matt.
Yeah, Colin. So I'm excited for this one, man. We just wrapped up our All or Nothing Success Summit. It was an amazing event. We had some major speakers, a great turnout. So I'm excited to kind of break that down and recap that for the folks that weren't able to make it.
Absolutely. A huge success and excited to do more, which we might talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, 100%.
So what was the Success Summit for someone who doesn't know what was going on?
Yeah, so as we've talked about before on the podcast, is that All or Nothing in Real Estate is just a movement to give back to the industry that's given so much to me and my family. And I feel like right now, there's a lot of changes in the economy, interest rates. The real estate market specifically is turned on its head. And I think it's more important now than it has been in the past to take more effort to follow that mission and give back to people and give them the advice that they need to make it through this changing market, this normalization of the real estate market. And so it was just a way we threw an event together, brought in some major speakers, some other partners. We had an amazing keynote speaker, Damon West, with the most inspirational, amazing story I've ever heard. It was just our way to give back on a whole nother level because of what's going on.
Right. Well, and it wasn't just our agents. It was the agents in the community as well, because we're wanting to lift everybody up, especially because we're heading into
we had
such
agents
a difficult
fly in from Florida to come to it. Like it was awesome.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk a little bit about Damon West's story because it's so dang impactful and incredibly relevant for what we're heading into today. You mentioned it briefly. We're heading into a difficult season, and I believe it was 33% of realtors may or may not make it to through this.
Yeah. So according to National Association Realtors, 30% of real estate agents will be out of the business in the next 12 months. That was a study I heard like 4 or 5 months ago. So you got like if you're still in it, you got like 6 or 7 months to get your stuff together, or you may be out. But that's a stat from National Association Realtors, and so that's a huge number. It's because of all these changes. And so I'm committed for the people that are committed to this industry, the people that are committed to working on themselves and getting better. I'm committed to providing them a platform and value for them to make it through this and actually become better during these challenging times.
Not just survive it, but actually come out thriving.
Correct, 100%. It's survival mode is not good. And if you're in survival mode right now, just get out and save yourself the pain because you have to adjust your thinking. And so because of everything starts with mindset. I talk about this all the time. And so with that being said, Damon West is not a real estate agent. He does not speak real estate. But what he speaks is inspiration, motivation, and how you are in charge of your environment, how you can change your environment around you. So I thought that message was very, very crucial for this time.
Well, if you don't... I was going to say, every agent that I've heard since he spoke has just been going on and on about how this has completely flipped a switch in their head going, oh, wait, this is the biggest opportunity ahead of me if I'll allow it to be that.
That's right. If you don't change your mindset, nothing will change around you. Like I said, a quote from stage at this event is, you may have to help me paraphrase, but if you want things around you to change, you have to be that change, right? Like if you change the way you look at things, here's the quote. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So if you look at this market as like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Oh no, interest rates. Oh no, the economy. Oh no, this. Oh no, the election. Oh no, that's the lens that you are looking through, what results are you going to get? But if you flip that and you realize, what kind of opportunity will I have because of interest rates rising? What kind of opportunity will I be presented if I'm able to make it through this market and a third of my competition, other real estate agents, are no longer in the business? What opportunity can I have to use these downturns, these challenges, for me to work on myself, for me to work on my skill set so I can come out even better? And so that's kind of what the event was about, and it starts with your mindset. So Damon West, he wrote a book called Be a Coffee Bean. You should read it. It's amazing. There's actually one Be a Coffee Bean for Kids version. It is my 10-year-old's favorite book. We got it signed at the event, told Damon a little story, and he actually got a little emotional because I didn't realize that the Be a Coffee Bean for Kids, his stepdaughter helped him write it.
Really?
His stepdaughter is a character in the book, and one of the characters in the book is also portrayed by his wife. That is also in the book. And so when we shared a few of the lessons that our daughters have learned from that book specifically about how they can be a coffee bean, and how there was a story, and Amanda will tell it better than me, but we were at the dinner table one night with our kids, right? And they were talking about something happened at school. Somebody was picking on them, or somebody was just not, kids would be kids, right? And my 10-year-old said, well, you don't have to play into that. And as a matter of fact, I think that person was probably having a bad day, and you can help make them have a better day by doing this, this, and this, and then it won't affect the people around them. And then you can make everyone else that participated change, right? Like it was...
Your 10-year-old.
Yes, a 10-year-old. Not only how about the intellectual capabilities of a 10-year-old to do that, then she referenced, just like in the book, Be a Coffee Bean.
I'm getting chills up and down my spine.
She told that to my 5-year-old, who now goes around talking about being a coffee bean, right? Like it is truly that big of an opportunity. If you're a parent and you don't have that book for your kids, you need it. And if you're a parent and you don't have the adult version for yourselves, you need it, because we can all use more coffee beans in our life. So let's break down what is the coffee bean. I'm not going to do it any disservice. If you want to hear this in depth after the show, make sure you listen. After this show, go listen to Ed Milet's podcast where he interviewed Damon West. It is an amazing interview. I've listened to it. I listened to it 2 more times since he spoke to us live. So I've listened to it 9 times now. It's that good of an interview. Probably the best interview I've ever heard in my entire life, with the best story tied to it. It's amazing. Go check it out. It's on the Ed Milet show. I don't remember the title, but it's Damon West, something about out of prison. Yeah, out of prison to super success story, etc. But anyway, the coffee bean story. So Damon tells the story of while he was on his way to prison through his journey. I'm not going to do his story a disservice and go into detail, but an old man, I think it was Mr. Jackson, told him, hey, if you're going into prison, here's what you need to know. Prison isn't an environment. It's a pot of boiling water. You don't want to be, you can either be a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean. And so Damon's like, well, this crazy old man, what's he talking about, right? But what he's saying is a carrot goes into the environment. It's hard, but that environment makes it soft. Prison will break you if you let it. Don't come out a carrot. Don't come out soft. Don't let prison break you. You can put an egg in, has the protective cover, goes in, and becomes hard. You don't want to be hardened in prison. Don't come out with tattoos. Don't come out with all this. Like, prison is a violent place. It can make you become that hard individual. So don't become a carrot. Don't become an egg. What you need to become is a coffee bean. Because a coffee bean, you put a same coffee bean in that same pot of boiling water, what happens?
It changes everything.
The pot of water becomes coffee. You change the environment. That is in your control. So if you change your environment, you change the mindset of yourself, you change the mindset of your family, of your kids, of your team to be a coffee bean, and you be the change and inspire the change around you, literally you can change and transform a prison of all things. Literally, he got out of prison after a life sentence in 7 years. One of the things his parole officer said is, you have completely transformed the mindset and lives of people in this prison. So you deserve to get out early, right? Like, because he bought into, he was the coffee bean.
And if you can do that in that kind of environment, it's like, what are the stakes for us in ours? Because we're not in prison.
That's right. Well, but how many of us, we have a huge disadvantage in this industry. We've come off the 3 best years to be a real estate agent on the history of planet Earth. If you didn't have a good year of the last 3 years, I'm sorry, you just get out now. It's not for you, because it was easy to sell a house. The hardest thing to do was, how do I compete with multiple offers? Or which buyer do I choose first? Right? Like, that was the hardest part of being a real estate agent the last 3 years. If I offended you, I'm sorry. I'm probably not the guy you should follow, because this is real life advice that's going to help you. But you have to be able to understand this market is different. you're going to have to be that coffee bean. You're going to have to change the mindset of yourself first, internal, and then you change the mindset of everyone else. It's the old market, the COVID market, the pandemic market, whatever you want to call it, is not normal. What we are going to now is more of a normal real estate market. And a normal real estate market requires salespeople. Go look at your real estate license. It says licensed real estate salesperson. A lot of real estate agents forgot how to be salespeople. Salespeople is not manipulation. It's not taking advantage. It's none of that. My definition of sales is help. How can I help more people? Do you think that you are scared in this market? Quit being so damn selfish and realize you have a community and you have home buyers and sellers to serve. Do you think they're scared? All they have is CNN that says, oh my gosh, the world's ending. Interest rates have doubled. Don't buy a house. We're in a recession. We're in this. The world's going to end. You need to be the lighthouse and be that coffee bean for your community, for your clients, and help them navigate through these challenging times.
Because they're terrified right now. There's so much going on that's negative. If you can be the difference that says, hey, here's another option for you, or have you ever considered this? Or, okay, let's look at the objections that you have right now. How can we tackle those one by one? That changes everything and gets them from a state of fear and getting trapped in their amygdala, I think it is, in the brain, where the fight or flight response.
That's too big of a word for me, man.
Get them into their neocortex, get them excited about the new possibilities.
Is that like a football, a vortex?
Yeah, sure.
But fight or flight is a real thing, right? And so what happens is people get backed into a corner. What happens when you back somebody in a corner? They either curl up in a ball or they fight, right? Like that's what we do as humans. Don't let this market make you curl up in a ball. It's time to fight. Where's that fire in your belly that it took to get started in this industry? If you made it past the first 3 years, you're the part of the 13%. 87% of real estate agents fail in the first 3 years. You made it this far, find that fire.
Yeah.
It's not easy in this business. It's not what you see on HGTV. And I'm telling you right now, in this transition, winter's coming. And I'm not talking about the months. Like you see in the movie or the show Game of Thrones, like that's a great analogy for, you think the real estate market's bad right now? Come talk to me in 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You need to be prepared. But I'll tell you what wins. I don't buy into the news. I don't listen to mainstream media. I don't listen to the news. I don't care what's happening in the economy. You know why? I create my own economy. I call it the action economy. My action will win. Period. The actions I take determine my outcome. I control what I can control. And if you don't have that mindset and you don't adopt that, you are going to become another statistic in this marketplace. And I don't want that for you. So I hope this is your wake-up call.
Absolutely, because you're becoming a victim of what's happening. And this is going to be important not just for real estate agents, but especially for leaders, because you've got a lot of agents who are scared. And so being a lighthouse in your own organization, being able to say, how can I not be hardened like the egg or soft like the carrot? How can I be a coffee bean and interact, not improve just my mindset, but change the mindset of my entire office? Any tips come to mind before we close?
Well, you got to be the change, number one. You can't rely on anybody else to do it for you. You can't delegate your push-ups. If you're a leader, I said this from the stage in Tahoe, leaders, it's time to step up. You have to lead from the front. You think your agents are scared? Absolutely they are. But what is going to make them motivated to do more? When they see the leader get out in the bullpen with the agents, start making prospecting calls, start setting appointments, sharing a positive message, sharing what it's going to take, and leading by example by doing the action, or a leader that sits back in the corner and says, well, I don't know what to do, guys. Yeah, it's going to be tough for a while. Of course it's going to be tough, but action wins. Come up with strategic ways to get out of this market. As an example, one of the things we're doing right now, we've partnered with lenders that have a 3-2-1 buy down. You can refinance for the next 5 years at no cost. Interest rates, guess what? You don't want to buy right now, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? Completely understand. But before you say no, I want to make sure you understand all the options.
Right.
What if you could buy a house today and you could get 3% less interest rate right now for that same house?
You're like, well,
instead of
that's
7%,
impossible.
you're at 4%. Would that change your buying decision?
You're like, well, yeah, but that's impossible. You're like, no, it's not.
Actually, let's talk about this further. There's stipulations, of course, but in this market, guess what? Sellers may be willing to pay more concessions, right? So there's other options that you can get creative. And let me just tell you this is not real popular, but it's just the truth. as a real estate professional, we have to let's use this opportunity, the 30% that are getting out of the market. Let's use this opportunity to excel and grow our profession. We are rated right next to used car salesmen. You know why? Because we always tell people it's a good time to buy. We always tell people it's a good time to sell. Just use me now. Maybe it's not a good time for your buyer to buy. I don't know your market. I don't know their situation. But don't be afraid to tell them, you know what, maybe we should wait.
Because when it is a good time to buy, who are they going to go to?
You need to be that lighthouse and that resource. If you don't have trust with your clientele and your community, you are not going to make it in this industry. You have to build those relationships and that rapport, and that comes with trust and honesty. So you have to be, my coach John Cheplack said this 6 months ago, you have to be the lighthouse. You have to educate, you have to be the calm in the storm with your clients. Now, in our market, it's still a good time to buy because of a lot of changes that have happened. Other markets, I've talked to some of my coaching clients, it's probably not a good time to buy. Don't be afraid to tell them that. But build a plan for when it is a good time so we can pull the trigger at that point in time.
Right.
Build that relationship and keep your pipeline full, right? Versus trying to convince or tweak people to make a decision that's not in their best interest. That will come back to haunt you.
Absolutely. You got one name.
That's right. So going back to the All or Nothing Success Summit, it was amazing to host that, right? It was an awesome event. It was so awesome that I asked from the stage who would be interested in coming back, and the crowd went crazy. And so we'll be doing another one. Be on the lookout. We'll be doing more of those, especially as this market continues to change and adjust. We're going to bring in some guest speakers, bring in people that have been there and done that and are doing that to really help level up in this marketplace, because I believe that winners win. And I believe that this market will take zeros to heroes and heroes to zeros. The choice is yours.
1,000%. I think that does it. Everyone, thanks for listening. If you want to check out Damon West, we'll be linking that episode in the comments. And join the Facebook group if you want to join the next Success Summit. And we'll keep you posted on everything regarding that.
100%. I'm going to add to that. You don't have an option. You want to change. You want your kids to change. You want your family to change. Buy the kids' book. Buy Be a Coffee Bean book and go listen to Ed Milet's interview of Damon West right now. It will absolutely transform your mindset and transform your life. It is that inspirational of a story. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you.